Peace, blessings, and welcome. Now, some of you may know me, some of you may not. So, hello, I am Brent Lee. Recently, I was asked onto my friend True Seeker's podcast to talk about conspiracy theories and my former very deep belief in them. Now, I was a full-on conspiracy theorist. I identified through and through as a truther. This video is kind of a testimony to answer some of the questions I got from viewers after the Truth Seeker interview and from other friends on Facebook and Twitter. What exactly did I believe? I believed in what I would call the Grand Conspiracy. It is the New World Order, Illuminati, Freemason global conspiracy. I believed that secret societies were running the upper echelons of politics, banks, corporations, religious institutions, universities, the entertainment industry, and even organized crime. I believed they were involved in nearly every facet of our life, pretty much. But they hadn't quite achieved global domination yet. Now that was an agenda called the New World Order, which these elites were trying to fulfill. I call it the Grand Conspiracy because I also believed that most other conspiracy theories played some sort of part in this grand conspiracy. So the assassination of JFK, Oklahoma bombing, 9/11, 7/7, UFOs, MK Ultra, and anything else that sort of comes under the umbrella term of conspiracy theory, all of it was them. Lastly, I believed that these secret societies were mystery schools, which practiced black magic and ritual sacrifice, and I believed that terror attacks, mass shootings, assassinations were occult rituals, mostly orchestrated through intelligence services and committed by mind-controlled patsies. They did this in order to birth their New World Order through black magic. When and how did I come to believe this? In 2003 was when I first came across this worldview. The very first video I watched left quite a big impression. It was called Millennium 2000. It was presented by Anthony J. Hilder, and there was a guest on there who completely blew me away. He was like a well of wisdom, so full of knowledge, and his name was Jordan Maxwell. This Millennium 2000 video was mainly about how the Illuminati and Freemasons were the hidden hand in history and had now infiltrated the governments of the world. They showed this through their symbology. I started to look up some more of his material and found other people talking about these things. And over the next year or so, there were 4 people specifically whose media I consumed a lot of. These 4 people were Jordan Maxwell, William Cooper, David Icke, and Alex Jones. I read every book, watched every video, and listened to every radio appearance that I could get a hold of from these guys. And then I checked every source that they had referenced their information, coupled with what else I had confirmed, was the beginning of this belief system. For the next 10 years, I consumed pretty much nothing but this type of media. It was a literal obsession, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, not one day off at all. What made you start to question your belief system? Well, I've always had a few issues with the different truther camps and the ideas that were pushed by big personalities. There were always certain things I didn't agree with and thought they were just distasteful or plain bigoted, but I brushed that off thinking that it was just a couple of fringe groups out there latching on to this loose-knit community. But these disagreements, they didn't make me question my belief in the grand conspiracy. We were still somewhat on the same page. I remember there were other disagreements I had back on the David Icke forum about the historicity of Jesus. A mod was arguing with me because I was sharing some of the stuff I had found, which argued Jesus really walked the earth and his direct followers continued his ministry. Now, whether or not they were holy is a question of faith, but the academic consensus is Jesus was a historical figure. And that didn't go down so well because David Icke and Jordan Maxwell, among many others, teach astrotheology. Now, astrotheology is the belief that all the major religions are actually a cover for astrological worship. One example, very quickly, is Jesus is the son of God, and his 12 followers represented the 12 signs of the zodiac. Therefore, Christianity is nothing but sun worship. There are other things I found out to just be completely untrue. Something Jordan Maxwell is well known for is what Mike Heiser has coined paleobabble. Essentially, it's word salad. So he would teach things like the word Israel is the name of 3 different gods, Isis, Ra, and El, which it categorically isn't. And Genesis was the genes of Isis, which it isn't. And another one that he said was Solomon, Sol Om. It's 3 different words for the sun or sun gods, which again is not true. Yet, still after discovering these errors and that these authors were factually wrong, still wasn't deterred from the grand conspiracy. But what really got the ball rolling was Sandy Hook. Truthers were spinning a new narrative that the massacre was really a hoax played out by crisis actors and nobody died. This theory then was recycled for lots of tragic events after that, from Boston Marathon bombing to the Pulse nightclub shooting. And that was the first time I really felt completely disconnected from the truth movement. And from that point, 2012 till 2015, I noticed there was so much wild stuff going up on YouTube and being shared on social media that I just found myself disagreeing with so much, because it just got ridiculous. You had this crisis actor thing, a hoax narrative, so nothing actually ever happened. Then Justin Bieber and Eminem were clones made by the Illuminati. They had been swapped. The real celebrity one has been swapped with an Illuminati clone. They had almost every famous woman somehow is secretly a man. Mandela effect, Pizzagate, even flat Earth started to gain some traction with my friends. And I thought, this stuff is just getting wild. But little did I know how wild it was going to get. What made the House of Cards collapse? So, we're talking between 2015 and 2018 now. From the moment of me distancing myself from these online communities till I was completely done with it. During those years, my interests in politics, religion, society, culture, they all continued to blossom. And honestly, the more I learned, the more I found the things I knew were wrong. The logistics of this grand conspiracy were just impossible. And I just couldn't make anything fit anymore. Then on the world stage, there was quite a lot of things happening that really didn't fit with my understanding of the New World Order agenda. A few things that were really the final nails in the coffin was QAnon and the election of Trump. And over here in England, it was the United Kingdom voting for Brexit and the leadership of Jeremy Corbyn taking over the Labour Party. Now, to me, the Illuminati would have never allowed these things to happen. They just were not a part of the agenda. So those were pretty much the final nails in the coffin. So, final question was, what did you do after building your whole life around this conspiracy myth? And what next? Well, the first thing I did was completely withdraw from these online communities. I logged off Facebook and barely logged back in for the next 3 years. I just silently walked away from all my friends online and everyone I had met through Truth Music Directory. I didn't talk to anyone about my doubts. I didn't discuss it with anyone. I just logged off. But my interests were still intact. So I continued learning about the subjects I enjoyed. And I started to do research about conspiracy theories, which has been enlightening. I feel I have discovered a lot about myself from it, and I have discovered even more about this grand conspiracy myth and where it all came from. I have completely deprogrammed myself from believing anything to do with this grand conspiracy myth. I do not believe it exists. I believe I have gathered more than enough evidence now to prove to myself that this myth is itself a hoax. It is a big, big lie. And that brings me to what's next. Over the next few months, I am hoping to share with you more of this journey. I want to share the truth behind much of this conspiracy myth that helped me deconstruct my worldview. I hope that sharing this with you and breaking it down with you over the coming weeks and months ahead, that it could help either someone who shares the same experiences that I've had, or if you have a friend or a family member obsessed with conspiracies, maybe this can help you understand them better. If you are here because of a loved one, I just want you to know all hope is not lost. As far down the rabbit hole as they are, they still can come back. So hold on. So I think that's about it for now. If you have any questions or suggestions for another video, please leave me a comment. If you enjoyed this or found it at all interesting, please hit like. And if you're interested in seeing the future videos and this journey, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Much love. Stay blessed.